Hi there, this video is about transforming your life in 2025 by being creative. It's really short, it's really simple, and just to pass on a little bit of scientific research about creativity that might just help you in 2025 to fill that sort of void, to finally feel some sense of accomplishment and just sort of explore your identity, tap into your creativity and inspire you to make that move, and hopefully to just point out some of the benefits, or hopefully to guide you through some of the benefits that might hopefully bring for you. So I'm going to put a couple of things on the screen. The first thing is Maslow's hierarchy of needs and creativity. I've got it on my phone here. It's a really simple triangle that you will see. The basic needs, physiological needs, of food, water, breathing, warmth and rest. And then at the top there, above having loving friends and family and safety, the very sort of pinnacle of the triangle, ideally, if we've got all of these lower things in place, is this thing about self-actualization and creativity, reaching potential. So in his research, in Maslow's research, obviously there are things that we need like food and water, but also he lumped together this important bit right at the top of having creativity or reaching potential or self-actualization. Now, to explore that part of the top part of the triangle a little bit more, he said, playing with his phone, I then came across this thing here, which is called the Pyramid of Leisure by Nash. Again, it'll be I'll put it on the video now. Which is all about how we use our sort of downtime, or our spare time, as it were. And it really struck me that actually there's a huge amount of stuff online about how to work more effectively, use your work time better. There's not a lot really about how to use your leisure time and what to do in that free time. And I think as the years are going on, we are actually getting, despite the fact we seem really, really busy, we are actually in reality, we do have a lot more leisure time than, say, most people had anyway. Certainly the middle and working classes had 100 years ago. There are exceptions to that, but generally speaking, as a society, I believe that is true. We also spend a huge amount of time watching TV and playing on our phones and stuff like that in spare bits of leisure time, and that is a huge time suck. But the actual time that we're not engaged in working, making money, apparently is reducing, and over the next decades, I would assume, with the introduction of AI, that will probably continue to be the case. So, in Nash's triangle here, he starts at the bottom with, well, what's the sort of lowest common denominator of using your leisure time? And he puts entertainment, amusement, and escaping from monotony and killing time on there. And I think a lot of us really do sit in that sort of lower quadrant. It's watching TV, isn't it? It's scrolling on your phone. It's consuming stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's a place for that. I love sitting watching TV, but it's passive. And actually, can I remember what I watched on TV last night? Well, I can actually, because I watched Wolf Hall and it's quite outstandingly good. But actually, I couldn't tell you what I've watched over the last week on TV. It sort of goes in and out. Then in the next level, we go to a level of emotional participation. So the person is moved in appreciation. So this might be a film that you get really emotionally involved in. It might be listening to music on a really deep emotional level, but actually having some sort of real emotional attachment, but still being passive. The next level up, my phone has died, there we go. Next level up is active participation. So something like playing a football game, he'd be playing in a team, playing in an orchestra, doing something that's active, playing with your kids, actually involved doing something. Then we get to the really, really interesting bit. Right at the height of this, of how to use your leisure time, is creative participation. And that's what the triangle is saying is sort of the pinnacle of human achievement, and where we get the most enjoyment, satisfaction, self-reward is this active participation where we are creating, we are doing We are making the video. We are writing the music. We are painting the picture. We are doing whatever we're doing that is creative. We're making and we're sorting. And it's that creating, sorting and making and producing part of our brain that craves the need to do it and is so satisfying when you actually do it. So, how do you make 2025 transformed? Well, my advice would be, if you're not creating, that you actually start being an active creator, that you do stuff, you make stuff in whatever creative form you want. It might be woodwork, it might be metalwork, it might be painting, it might be crochet, it might be writing music, writing plays, writing poetry. And I think what stops us as adults doing this is the fear of embarrassment and the fear of failure and comparing ourselves to others. And my encouragement to you would be to try and approach this as a child with a childlike mindset, and to try and put those things aside. So actually, you can do this in private. Nobody needs to know anything about it. That's the first thing. So you know, it is a private, personal thing. You don't need to show anybody your work. You don't need to compare your work with anybody else's. It actually doesn't matter how good what you create is. How good your painting is, it doesn't matter. The important thing is the actual process of doing it and being involved in it. So it's the quality of the experience rather than the quality of the outcome that is really, really important for you. And just overcoming that fear of just releasing yourself and allowing yourself to paint, to write, to do whatever, and releasing yourself from the sort of, we've had, decades of this drilled into our brains as adults of quantifying how good or not something is, trying to release that and thinking in a very childlike way of playing with words, playing with paint, playing with clay, playing with music, playing with whatever we do without attaching any sort of quantifiable, qualitative, there's a lot of big words, things to it whereby we're trying to say, okay, this is good or this is bad. That really doesn't matter. It's the process, it's the you taking time, it's the you working through things yourself, being creative and playing. It's adult play. And I really do think that a lot of us have lost the ability to do that. Okay, that's the message, convoluted and long that it was. And there is some well-known scientific stuff to back this up. Creativity, actually doing something creative, but most importantly, not being held back by those common fears of, will I look silly? What's the point in doing this? It'll be rubbish. It won't look anywhere near as good as what other people have done. Putting that totally to a side, thinking like a child, and being involved in the process and the actual, the feeling of doing it, the quality of the feeling and the quality of the experience rather than the end result is the important thing. I hope that's helpful for somebody. If you're still here, very well done. Thank you. Say hello. Write me a comment and say, try this. Are you already creative? Do you agree with what I'm talking about? Or am I talking complete gibberish? It'd be great to know. And hopefully see you in another video. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.